Welcome to the class. Today's class is about absorption and intensity shifts in UV visible spectroscopy. Before going directly into shifts in absorption, let me know some common terms used in UV visible spectroscopy, that are chromophore and auxochrome. Let me know about chromophore. So, chromophore is a compound or a group which exhibit absorption of electromagnetic radiation in visible or UV visible region, and it will give color to the compound. In olden days, color exhibiting compound is defined as chromophore, but in nowadays the modification has given to the definition of chromophore. The compound, whatever the compound, it has some absorption when interacts with the UV radiation. Such compound we call as chromophore. Whatever the compound, when interacts with the UV radiation, if at all it is absorbed, then it must be come under the category chromophore. The examples for chromophore are ethylene, acetylene, carbonyls, acids, esters, and so on. There is a classification of chromophore. Chromophores are two types. Okay, chromophores are two types. When the chromophores having only pi electrons, then they exhibit pi to pi star transitions. When the chromophores contain pi electrons as well as non-bonding electrons, then they will exhibit pi to pi star transitions and also n to pi star transitions. For this case, we take the example carbonyl group. So, in the case of carbonyl group, we have pi bonding electrons and non-bonding electrons. That means there is a appearance of pi to pi star transition and also n to pi star transition. Next one is auxochrome. So, auxochrome itself, it may not give the color to compound, but when it is added to chromophore, it intensifies the color of the compound. So, this is chromophore. Okay. Generally, chromophore is not a colored compound. Whenever it is attached or it is interacted with the chromophore, then it will intensify the color of the compound. Examples are OH group, NH2, OR, NHR and NR2, that is dialkyl amine. So, these are the common auxochromes. Generally, why auxochromes intensify the color? Because when they interact with the chromophore, chromophore and auxochrome interact each other. As a result, a new chromophore can generate. Okay, due to the presence or due to the result of new chromophore, we expect increase in the lambda max. So, that is why the color of the compound can be intensified. That is the mechanism involved in between the chromophore and auxochrome. Suppose here I am taking the example, benzene. If you take a benzene, simple benzene, benzene can give the absorption at 255 nanometers. If benzene is converted to aniline, okay, benzene get converted to aniline. Benzene is a chromophore. If it is converted to aniline, what is extra here? NH2 is extra. Originally there is no NH2. After the reaction you are getting aniline. Okay. So, that is why here NH2 is acting as a auxochrome. Chromophore, this is chromophore. When auxochrome interacts with chromophore, then the color of the compound intensifies. Generally, amines are colored compounds and they give lambda max at 280 nanometer. So 255 to 280 means there is a increase in the lambda max to longer region. As we know that all the oxochromes have one or more non-bonding pair of electrons. So here you are having a non-bonding electron containing atom. So here you are having non-bonding electrons. Of course here also examples are there, non-bonding electrons. So all the heteroatoms generally contain non-bonding electrons. So this is about oxochromes. Yes, now let we see the oxochrome effect. So when oxochrome is substituted to the compound, what will happen? Is there any change? Let we see here. So this is unsubstituted chromophore. See here, I am taking a butadiene. Butadiene can give its absorption at the wavelength of 217 nanometers. 217 nanometers. If one of the hydrogen is substituted by methyl group, so here methyl group is also acting as an oxochrome. If one of the hydrogen is replaced by methyl, then the structure is like this. So this is the substituted chromophore. So this is original, that is unsubstituted chromophore get converted to substituted chromophore by the interaction of particular oxochrome. Once the substitution takes place, if you investigate the compound under UV visible spectroscopy, then you find the lambda max at 224 nanometers. That means 217 to 224, there is increase in the lambda max. That is due to the influence of oxochrome, you are experiencing the increase in the shift or increase in the lambda max. Now I am taking one more example. Here this is an unsubstituted chromophore. It will give the lambda max at 228 nanometers. If it is substituted by a oxochrome, that is diethylamine. When diethylamine is substituted here at the place, okay, so this place is substituted by diethylamine, then you will have the lambda max at 307. See, 228 to 307, there is a increase or a shift in the absorption of wavelength to longer region. This is due to the oxochromic effect. And here also, so this is the unsubstituted chromophore. Due to the substitution of chromophore, there you results the increase in the lambda max 204 to 234. And here a simple chromophore ethylene, if you investigate ethylene, it will give the lambda max at 175 nanometer. If oxochrome, that is particularly chloro group, is substituted, due to the influence of oxochrome, you are experiencing the increase in the lambda max value. So this is about the oxochrome effect in the chromophore to the shift in the lambda max value to longer region. Yes, now we will consider absorption and intensity shifts. First I am concentrating on absorption shift, that is nothing but increase in the wavelength, increase or decrease in the wavelength. A shift of absorption to longer wavelength is called as bathochromic shift. In the earlier slide we find that a shift of absorption takes place towards longer region. So 217 to 224 longer region shift takes place. That means this change we called, or this change can be considered as bathochromic shift. And here also 228 to 307. So increase in the absorption or shift towards the longer region, and here also shift towards a longer region and shift towards a longer region. That means all that conversions or all the conversions are bathochromic shifts. Generally, pi to pi star transitions undergo bathochromic shift with an increase in the polarity of the solvent. See here, phenol, if you take a phenol which has the structure like this, it has ethylenic double bonds inside the ring, and in total it will come under benzenoid system. So, two types of bands will appear, ethylenic band as well as benzenoid band. So, ethylenic band exhibits at 210 nanometer, benzenoid band exhibit at 270 nanometer. If phenol get converts to phenolate ion, so I am showing the conversion. Yes. So, phenol get converts to suppose of course phenoxide, sodium phenoxide, counter cation also showing. So, as we know that phenol is weakly acidic compound. As it is weakly acidic compound, there is availability of loosely bounded proton. If at all you are giving a base, if you treat the phenol with a base sodium hydroxide, then a base can abstract the proton. After the abstraction of proton, you will get phenoxide ion, that is sodium phenoxide ion. The conversion from phenol to sodium phenoxide is a bathochromic shift, because you are showing here 210 nanometer to 235 nanometer, here 270 nanometer to 287 nanometer. So, the shift increases towards the longer lambda max or longer region, that means increase in the wavelength. It shows the shift towards a bathochromic shift. So, why it is increasing, that is the second question, because here you are having non-bonding electrons. All heteroatoms contain non-bonding electrons. Due to the availability of non-bonding electrons, they will participate in resonance. As a result, you will get resonance forms. Once the electrons are involved in bonding, then here oxygen acquires positive charge or partial positive charge. For this case, for the case of phenoxide ion, here also availability of electrons. If the electrons are involved in resonance, there is also possibility of formation of resonance, but here due to the donation of electrons, here you will have this type of phenomenon. So, here you are not having any charge on heteroatom. Due to the donation of electrons, carbon to oxygen double bond will acquire, but here due to the donation of electrons towards the ring, there is of course double bond is present, but on the heteroatom you are having positive charge. So, when heteroatom bearing positive charge, it must be unstable. Here there is no positive charge, that must be, it is a stable molecule. As it is unstable, it requires high energy. So, high energy requirement, so that is why lambda max must be less, because energy and lambda both are inversely proportional to each other. So, that is why phenoxide is a stable one, it will give high lambda max. So, low lambda max to high lambda max, the conversion takes place. So, this shift in the absorption is called as bathochromic shift, and shift is towards higher wavelength side. So, that is why it is said to be red shift, because if you consider a VIBGY or a visible region, so shifting takes place towards longer region, that means shifting takes place towards red side. As it is moving to longer region, we pick this as standard and give the name as red shift. If suppose lambda max decreases means this orientation. If suppose lambda max decreases, it will takes this phenomenon, and it has chosen blue color. Okay. So, increase in the lambda max is also known as red shift, decrease in the lambda max is also known as blue shift. Violet and blue are not that much visible, blue is the intensified color. So, that is why blue is taken as standard. In the next slide, we discuss about blue shift. Yes, here the shift of absorption to shorter wavelength is known as hypsochromic shift, or also known as blue shift. When the lambda max decreases, then we call this shift as blue shift. Generally N2 pi star transitions undergo hypsochromic shift. See here I am giving the example formaldehyde. Formaldehyde will exhibit the lambda max at 295 nanometer. If you suppose to draw the structure of formaldehyde, this is formaldehyde. So, formaldehyde which has a C double bond O linkage, it is coming under carbonyl category, as it is carbonyl compound and it can exhibit N2 pi star transitions, and N2 pi star transitions will be exhibited at high lambda max. So, 295 nanometer. If you are changing the compound formamide, one of the hydrogen is replaced by amine group NH2, then it is formamide. So, due to the replacement of hydrogen by NH2 group, then you are experiencing or you are finding the decrease in the lambda max. So, initially it is exhibiting the lambda max at 295 nanometer. After the conversion, you are having the decrease in the lambda max. So, the shift of formaldehyde to formamide is a hypsochromic shift, or also known as blue shift. If suppose you are not changing NH2 group, if you are changing it as OH group, now this is known as formic acid, H C double bond O OH. So, when formaldehyde is converted to formic acid, so formaldehyde is observed at 295 nanometer, formic acid at again 205 nanometer. So, there is also you are experiencing decrease in the lambda max value. So, as the lambda max value decreases to shorter wavelength, then it is a hypsochromic shift or simply blue shift. For the case of formyl chloride also you will experience the same hypsochromic shift. Next one is intensity shift. So, in the intensity shift we are having hyperchromic shift and hypochromic shift. When the intensity increases, then it is known as hyperchromic shift. Same example here I am taking. here phenol and here phenolate. In the case of bathochromic shift, the same example we are discussed. When bathochromic shift is taking place, in addition to bathochromic shift, there must be the presence of hyperchromic shift. Okay, because if suppose this is the absorption curve and this is a absorption curve for a compound and this is the absorption curve for a next compound. So, before the reaction, after the reaction. So, phenol, phenoxide ion. So, if you consider this is the lambda max and here this is the lambda max. So, the lambda max must be increases from phenol to phenoxide ion. As the lambda max increases, if you suppose to see the intensity, here the intensity and here if you extrapolate the graph, here you are having intensity. As lambda max increases, epsilon will also increases. So, there is a combinational effect. Hypsochromic shift will always in combination with hypochromic shift. Bathochromic shift will always in combination with hyperchromic shift. If at all there is increase in lambda max, there must be increase in the absorption intensity also. So, that is why here you are having the values also. Phenol exhibiting the epsilon max at 6200 and phenolate ion exhibits the epsilon at 9400, increase in the absorption intensity. And here also you find increase in the absorption intensity. So, this is about primary band and this is about secondary band. So, primary band is just ethylenic band and secondary band is a benzenoid band. So, like this we can give the explanation for hyperchromic shift. Next one is hypochromic shift. So, this is the effect which leads towards a decrease in the absorption intensity. If the absorption intensity decreases, then we call the shift as hypochromic shift. That is yes, if suppose same opposite to earlier slide, if the compound exhibits initially like this and after the reaction if you have the curve like this. So, this is 1 and this is 2. So, initially it has high lambda max, after the reaction you have less lambda max. So, this is about lambda. Now, consider about epsilon also. Initially it is having high epsilon, after the end of the reaction you are having less epsilon or decrease in the epsilon, decrease in the intensity, absorption intensity. This shift is known as hypochromic shift. Example for this case is benzoic acid to benzoate anion. So, take benzoic acid, converting benzoic acid into benzoate anion. So, this is the example for hypochromic shift, that is decrease in the intensity. Of course, there is decrease in intensity as well as decrease in the lambda max also. As it is acidic one, this is the benzoate anion. As it is the acidic compound, due to the influence of a base can abstract the proton. After the abstraction of proton, you will get this compound, that is benzoate anion. Now, compare the stability of these two compounds. Benzoic acid is more stable than benzoate anion. As it is more stable, it require less, as it is a more stable compound, it require high lambda max value and this is require low lambda max value. So, from benzoic acid to benzoate, you see the shift in the lambda max 230 to 224. So, decrease in the lambda max, it come under the category hypsochromic shift. For the case of epsilon, here you see, here you are having 11,600, from 11,600 to 8,700 decrease in the epsilon. So, it is come under the hypochromic shift. So, that is why only I am giving the statement that wherever you find bathochromic shift, there must be hyperchromic shift. Wherever you find hypsochromic shift, there must be in combination of hypochromic shift. So, that is the information about shifts in absorption and intensity. So, simply here I am showing the picture. So, this is the absorption curve and this is x on x direction you are taking wavelength, on y direction if you take absorption intensity. When the lambda max increases, then we call this shift as bathochromic shift. When the lambda max decreases, then we call the shift as hypsochromic shift. So, this is with respect to wavelength and this shift is with respect to absorption intensity. Whenever the absorption intensity increases, then the shift is known as hyperchromic shift. Whenever the absorption intensity lower or decreases, then the shift is known as hypochromic shift. So, this is for today's class. In this class, we are studied about the new terms that are involved in UV visible spectroscopy, that are auxochrome, chromophore and absorption shifts and intensity shifts. Thank you.